This video is to talk about how to change the contact layout arrangement in Lightning. What we're going to do initially is go to a sample contact record to look at how the data is displayed by default. So when you land on a contact, you have this large area on the left, about 2/3 of the screen dedicated to details and related lists. Over here you have the activity, such as past activity, and the match my email section with matched emails. Because this is sort of squeezed, what we're going to do is talk about changing this to kind of flipping it. We're going to shrink this to 1/3 and expand this to 2/3. To do that, we're going to have to create a new Lightning record page. First, what I want to do is show you how to identify the components on an existing page in case you want to replicate that on a new page into the future. So we can click that cog, go to Edit Page on the page we're on. It takes us to the page layout that record is currently using. You can see that up here, if I click in the middle of this area, over on the right, it's going to tell me what that component is. And this is a highlights panel, and these are the details about that component. If I click down here in this section, you can see this is a tab. By default, we have details showing. That means by default that shows up when we land on this page. We would have to click to subsequent tabs to get that data, and it also shows that details is first, and that's an arrangement we're going to repeat on the next layout. And then in this area we have our tab showing activity with activity and chatter. So this helps you understand the components for the next step. So let's go back. And then we're going to click the cog top right. Not the notifications. We're going to click the tab and click Setup. On the left sidebar, we're going to go down to Objects and Fields and click Object Manager. And we're working with a contact record, so we're going to go to Contact. And here you can see Lightning Record Pages is an option. And this is the page layout we currently are using. Because we cannot change or edit this layout, we're going to create a new one. So click New. And that takes you into the Lightning App Builder. We're actually going to create a record page and click Next. The label for this, my example, I'm going to call it Optimized Contact Layout. And the object to associate it with, of course, is a contact, and click Next. And then these are the different options you can, for a layout you can choose. We're going to choose header and left sidebar so that the left has 1/3 and the other portion is about 2/3 of the screen, but we still have that header for our highlights panel, and click Finish. So now with this layout, we can begin to put the components on the page. On the left, we're going to grab Highlights panel and drag it up into this section. On the left, in this smaller 1/3 of a column, we're going to add a tab. So scroll to find Tab and drag it over. And you see the arrangement here. For related, we're going to put the related lists in. We're going to click on Details and then find Record Detail and drag it in. And lastly, for this tab, what we want to do is change the arrangement. So click back into this white space, and that gives us information about the tab, and we're going to make the default Details, and we're going to click on Details and drag it above Related so that it's the first thing we see. And then we're going to click Not Save Yet, so now we're going to work on this section. We're going to add another tab, drag it over here. Don't worry about the related and details there. We'll work about those in a minute, but we're going to add a new tab here. So click Add Tab. It's going to repeat details. We're going to click on Details, and we get a list of options, and we're putting in Activity, and click Done. We're going to click on Activity and move it to the top so it's the first one we see. We're going to remove Related by clicking the X on the side, and for Details, click X again to close. So all we have left is Activity. If you want, you can add Tab and also add Chatter. So for Activity, we need to see the activity information. So on the left sidebar, scroll up and find activities and drag it over and place it on the page into the tab. And because we also want to see our Match My Email matching information, we're going to go down to Custom Manage Components and grab email messages, dragging them over and also placing them within the tab. And then we're going to click Save. Now that saves changes, but we need to go through some activation steps. So we're going to click Activate. So this is to activate the page, and also we're going to assign it as an org default. So click Assign as org default and click Save. So activation settings were changed. We're going to click Save one more time. Changes have been saved, and now we're going to click Back. Now, in my experience, it takes a little minute for those changes to sync with the Salesforce server and come back. But to get back to our contact record, we're going to click the gridded over here, App Launcher, and go back to our Sales app, which is our main menu and home screen. I'm going to refresh the screen one more time. And then if I go to that contact record, you'll see that you still have a view that looks like the old way. What we're going to do is refresh this view one more time. And now you can see the changes have taken place. Here's the highlights panel. Details is predominant, related is behind, but it is there, but that only occupies a third of the screen. And then we have our activity information, and if we scroll down, we've got a nice big area now to see the email messages as well as any activities. I hope this helps you. Thank you for watching.